for joining us. Tonight, the Terre Haute City Council heard a request for an offender re-entry housing program. A nonprofit group called Change Inc. wants to create a group living home at 2517 North 13th Street. Last night, the Area Planning Commission gave a favorable recommendation for rezoning with conditions. As News 10's Emily Pike explains, the discussion continued tonight in front of the City Council.
The request is to rezone a property for a re-entry housing program for low-level male offenders. The project needs rezoning due to its intended use as a re-entry residence for rehabilitation. The courts would approve the people living at the home. Chief Deputy Prosecutor Rob Roberts says similar programs have worked, and this one could too. The prosecutor's office allows modified sentences in some cases after completion of re-entry programs.
We know that it has an impact on recidivism. We know that it has a positive impact on these individuals' lives. And so when they come back into the community, they've developed better life skills. They've developed better communication and coping skills.
One councilwoman wanted more details outlining the rules and operations of the facility. Jennifer Mullen-Perry, who intends to renovate the house next door, echoed that concern.
I think there is a plan to hope and not a plan to do right now. I think it's missing a budget. How are we going to feed people? How are we going to pay utilities?
People involved with the project say offenders will learn skills to help after their release and the transition back into the community.
The guys who come out of prison are somebody's son, somebody's brother, somebody's father, and they are going to be living in the same in your neighborhoods.
Mullen-Perry says it's a worthwhile cause, but also raised concern about property values.
I talked about it with a couple realtors, and they said, if this does go through, you should sell your property.
Project leaders cited studies saying additions like this don't have negative impacts on the surrounding area.
There's no guarantee whoever buys that home, even if it's not a re-entry home, how that private individual is going to care for that home or his ability to improve that home.
The house would be donated by a couple in Greencastle. The leader of the group intends to take on many of the costs, in addition to relying on grants and donations. Proposed changes to the house can be found by going to our website. That's WTHITV.com. Reporting from the studio, I'm Emily Pike. Back to you.
A vote could happen next month.